On to the latest from Indonesia's G20 presidency, where at the recent G20 Agricultural Ministers meeting, the Ministry of Agriculture of Indonesia presented 3 new strategies to strengthen food commodity supplies and keep inflation at bay in the midst of a global economic crisis. Indonesia's strategy is in line with the main topics from the G20 Agriculture Working Group in maintaining global food commodity. Now, the General Director of Agricultural Infrastructure and Facilities, Ali Jamil, said that the 3 new strategies proposed are as follows: keeping commodity inflation at bay by increasing production, development of import substitute commodities, and increase exports of more than 500 agricultural commodities. And according to Jamil, the 3 new strategies are implemented to strengthen the 5 existing strategies put forth by the Agricultural Ministry to ensure food commodity supplies are adequate. Among them is increasing production, food commodity diversification, food granaries, smart farming, and tripling the exports. Now, other than that, the Ministry of Agriculture of Indonesia is also currently in the midst of expanding farming lands and also increasing farming mechanisms and digitalization by maximizing the microcredit program.
Jadi kami sampaikan 5 strategi Kementerian Pertanian yang dibangun oleh Bapak Menteri Pertanian untuk membangun pertanian kita. 1, kita sebut CB, cara bertindak. 1 adalah peningkatan produksi. Yang kedua, diversifikasi pangan. CB3 itu adalah lumbung pangan. Yang CB4 adalah smart farming atau modern farming. Yang kemudian yang terakhir CB5 itu adalah Gratix, gerakan 3 kali lipat ekspor. Nah, hari ini dalam menghadapi krisis pangan global, dan tentunya topik-topik ini semua kena atau pas dengan topik-topik yang dibahas di G20 ini.
Meanwhile, G20 delegates for the non-finance SHERPA track convened in Yogyakarta to prepare the G20 Leaders' Declaration that will be published during the G20 summit in Bali in November this year. The declaration will include priority issues discussed by the 12 working groups and 10 engagement groups that have been operating under the SHERPA track. Discussions of the G20 priority issues have entered their final phase, namely preparations for the G20 Leaders' Declaration, which will be published during the G20 summit in Bali on the 15th to 16th of November this year. The declaration will, of course, include all the solutions and discussions for the 3 main pillars of Indonesia's G20 presidency, namely global health architecture, digital economy transformation, and the transition towards sustainable energy. A number of these issues within these pillars were discussed within the SHERPA track, which is the non-finance grouping of this year's G20 forums, which includes 12 working groups and 10 engagement groups. In the 3rd G20 SHERPA track meeting recently held in Yogyakarta, G20 delegates discussed the draft concept of the solutions and discussions for global challenges that will later be placed in the declaration document.
Disinilah akan diputuskan draft dari Leaders Declaration. Nah, ini yang sangat penting sekali, sehingga seluruh negara yang dari 39 tadi pasti akan betul-betul memprioritaskan untuk hadir. Dalam catatan kita, hampir semuanya hadir fisik, hadir in person. Ada 1 delegasi yang minta untuk virtual ya, tapi relatif semuanya hadir fisik.
The G20 SHERPA track also involves private organizations, including private Indonesian companies who are involved in introducing Indonesian products to other G20 countries, Indonesian products such as coffee.
Saya ceritakan daripada grup sendiri, karena itu kenapa kita kok ikut mendukung G20 ini, ya. Karena kita ingin Indonesia yang lebih baik. Ya, kita bermanfaat untuk Indonesia. Ini adalah rasa terima kasih kita. Kita kembalikan bahwa Indonesia telah memberikan banyak untuk perusahaan. Kita kembalikan kepada Indonesia.
Indonesia's G20 presidency began on the 1st of December 2021 and will last until the 30th of November this year. As this year's chair of the G20 forums, Indonesia is strategically positioned to drive the global agenda and seek concrete solutions to the many crucial issues faced by the world today.
Together, recover stronger.